All right, so my name's Chris Dial, and I founded the Basketball Embassy. I started working internationally about 8 years ago, primarily with the Turkish Basketball Federation. I was asked to go with a group of American coaches to support and develop a co-sponsored camp with the United States State Department. That relationship in 2009 led me to continue traveling overseas and helping other countries develop their basketball, mainly at a grassroots level. Just to give you an idea of some of the things that we think are important when we travel or when we take in a new client, so to speak, which would be a country or a national federation. When we approach a program, we have to consider multiple things. We're considering, one, what are that country's goals? You know, where are they at developmentally, and where do they want to be? And we try to assess a number of variables that would play into that. What resources do they have? What's available? What do they need? Where do they lack? Where do they excel? And then we try to make a very educated assessment based on those factors and those variables. What's made us successful so far is our staff, the people that we have involved. I was fortunate enough to work with a guy named Joey Tate for probably the last 17 or 18 years. I'm really aging myself when I say that, but Joey and I have been working together for a long time.
Joey Tate, been doing basketball camps since I was in high school. I continued when I went to college. As far as Chris and myself, we've been doing camps for almost probably 15 years now, working together, and since been doing it that long, and we have a great relationship, and we kind of feed off each other. I was lucky 5 years ago. I got invited with Chris overseas to Turkey and Romania to do camps, and ever since then, we spoke about doing mini camps in different countries. I've been fortunate I've lost count how many countries I've actually done camps in. Just got back from China. Spent 4 months over there, not only doing camps, but also teaching and coaching high school and middle school, so it's been a great experience.
Another guy that we have that's done something similar is Dustin. Dustin's a very young, very talented young coach that is doing a fantastic job. Moved over to Eastern Europe last year. He's been traveling all over the place, running camps, doing clinics, mentoring practices, developing strength and conditioning programs, just doing everything that's been asked of him, and he's truly affecting positively the areas that he's working in.
I've been working in Kosovo, Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey in the past 14 months. I hadn't left Texas working before then, so it's been a great opportunity for me to expand myself and expand my knowledge of not only basketball but culture as well. You think of wherever you're at as a normal, but when you go to different places, you understand so many different normals and so many different cultures, and it helps you challenge your beliefs and challenge some of the things that you just assume. And assumptions, I think, are taken for granted sometimes. So that opportunity to meet new people and discuss ideas and discuss whether it's basketball or your life goals or family, it's all such an incredible experience that I think it makes you a more complete person. And on the basketball side, it's so great that a round ball and a wood floor can create family from people that live 6,000 miles away.
Another one of our special staff members is a guy named Chris Buckley. The players get to know him as Coach Buckley, or Buck, as everyone calls him. And he is a fitness guru. He knows the body inside and out. And our goal, our aim is to employ people like that, to make sure that we add a specific component to our training regiments and to our programs, to where we're not just building X's and O's basketball players, but we're building healthy bodies that can support and facilitate the things that we're teaching. Chris Buckley has just been such a great asset for us, and he's never done anything but just amaze any player or any coach that have had an opportunity to work with him. So we're very fortunate to have a guy like Chris Buckley on our staff and at our disposal when we engage in different programming overseas or domestically.
Okay, so I'm the X factor of the basketball embassy camp, the assembly. I bring what's called strength and conditioning to the athletic basketball body. We do things at this camp specialized to not only get you better at ball handling, shooting, defensively, close out, all the detailed specific things that basketball has to do, but we also do strength and conditioning. I'm here to prepare your body, both physically and conditionally. So there's a bunch of different aspects that we look at here. From last year, we brought in some new things with some vertical jump programming and some core strength ideas that have really blossomed within the athletes that we have here.
So we've got guys that we run into periodically, and we try to snatch them up and we try to use them in all the things that we do. Guys that would fit that criteria are guys like Brent Tipton, who hails from Guam, a tiny island in the middle of the South Pacific, and I meet the guy in Istanbul. And after that, I just fall in love with his work ethic, with his passion, with his energy for the game. And since then, now Brent is on his second trip back over here to San Antonio. He's a big piece, a big part of why the basketball embassy assembly camp here in the States has been so successful and that the kids have such a good experience.
I think the basketball embassy is one of the most unique organizations that is available for basketball players and coaches to learn and grow. I think that the basketball embassy offers some of the best coaches who have some experience across the world, not just for a couple of years, but for over a decade of instruction that they have. They have a lot of experience. The coaches are, the main coaches in Chris Dial and Joey Tate are always growing. They're always looking for new ways to teach the game. There's always the basic fundamentals that can never be replaced and the details that can never be replaced. But there's always new methods of how to train and how to develop skill. I think they do a fantastic job.
One of my favorite guys, Ardelean from Bucharest, Romania. And I had the privilege and the honor of meeting Alex and working at camp with him going on nearly 4 years ago now. And since then, Alex and I have worked together on a number of different projects in a number of different countries. And Alex is back for his third trip here in San Antonio, and basketball's taken him all over the place.
So I first met Chris, I think it's like 4 years ago from today. I was an aspiring coach. Actually, I didn't have a job back then, and he was like one of the only people that really emphasized the fact that I should like really push forward into this and that I have a talent. So I basically ended up creating my own basketball club. Fast forward this to like a few years, I get invited over here in the States, and I participate in a camp with him that kind of like turns into the next year, it turns into the basketball embassy. So I remember when we were having these conversations that you have all these coaches that are talking about like their different philosophies, and if you could get a good mix of that, then you could basically raise the level of some really good players. And now just to see that unfold into what it is right now, it's just such a blessing. I'm so blessed to see these things happening.
So with guys like Alex and Brent, the future looks bright. We've also engaged a number of other coaches along the way, and we keep adding to our list, and our family is getting a little bit bigger. Last year I was in Sofia, Bulgaria, and I noticed this young coach that just didn't take one single second of a very rigorous week-long camp for granted. His name is Tedi Bukov, and Tedi lives in Sofia, Bulgaria, and Tedi since then basically bought in on the ideals of the basketball embassy. On day one, he was already embodying all of the things that we try to create.
I want to thank about the possibility to be here, and I want to wish everything to keep improving like the game, because I think that this is the way we can improve ourselves and the game in our countries.
We've also been fortunate enough to find very successful players that have now transitioned into coaching. D. Davis stands out, and sort of anybody that's met D loves D. D went to Vanderbilt, played in the WNBA. He's been a very successful coach in Tennessee, and we ran into D doing some international basketball stuff and immediately said, D, we got to have you. And she's here this year working the basketball embassy assembly camp, in San Antonio, and we're already talking about what the next project will be domestically in the United States and where we're going to ship her off to next internationally. She's just got such a wealth of knowledge. She's just such a great component to coaching and game planning and strategies, and she brings that player perspective into coaching.
Okay, for me, I think a lot of the different coaches that I had growing up kind of helped mold me as a coach, and in ways that I know how not to be, and I know how I wanted to be. And I took a little bit from every coach that I had, which kind of helped build who I am today, just based off of, you know, this coach was very affectionate as far as you could tell that that person cared about you. So it made me want to play for them more. And you might have one coach that didn't really show that side of them, to where you felt a lot of disconnect, a lot of confusion, and you really didn't play for that person. So with that made me want to be a coach that players could know and feel that I care about them and I'm giving them my all.
We've got people like Artina Hasani, who we found in Kosovo, in Pristina, Kosovo, still finishing her playing career.
This is kind of easy for me to explain them how things, how it work, how they goes, how you have to do that, how you have to be strong in this kind of work and stuff. This is a great opportunity for me too, so I'm hoping to learn too much from good coaches, young coaches, and the big coaches here.
Guys like Flavius Lapuste, and he's in Cluj, Romania. And Flavius was an outstanding player, unbelievable player, played at the top of the top with the best of the best in Europe, and now he's sharing that knowledge and that passion with young kids. And he's doing a great job in the basketball embassy. He's trying to provide him with the scaffolding, you know, for him to do that successfully.
I want to be here in San Antonio with the Basketball Embassy Association, and I really had the chance to have this experience to meet great people, great coaches. We are here with a group of guys from our country to develop their abilities to go to another level.
Young men and women that we're able to be in the gym with, to be in fitness centers with, to preach about education, to discuss nutrition with, sleep habits, educational habits, you know, things that are going to make them successful. Those players, those kids, those young men, those young women, those are essentially what drive us all as professionals to do what we do.
Basketball, since I was young, has been my life. You know, every single day when I wake up, the first thing I think of is, when can I get to a basket and start shooting in the morning? Then when can I go work out to get better at basketball? And so I think that, you know, every single day, my goal is just to continue to build on basketball, and it just continues to be my passion.
Well, basketball means to me just like something I've always like grown up with, I guess. It's always been in my life. So it means like everything basically.
I accomplished a lot of things. I met new people. There's going to be more opportunities for me in the future, and basketball is my passion. And
I like the international aspect because you get to make friends all over the world, like Guam, Denmark, and America. And the coaching, we got a lot of good coaches that teach us to do a lot of things.
I think in Europe you can be a bit meaner on court than like the high school basketball here, so you can push people around a bit more. So I find that hard to like adapt, because I'm used to sort of when someone's like cutting through the key, bumping them and like pushing them about a bit. And obviously, did last night, you can't do that here.
I like to like be better, be more challenged, and by that become a better player, and maybe join the national team in Lithuania somehow.
Yeah, we're taking advantage of a really great facility. As I said, we have like real good coaches, like my go-to guy, Ardelean from Romania. Yeah. What did I improve? I really get to be a great teammate. I really like the fact that we always get a break, that we always cheer each other. These are really great, really important things like for a basketball player.
Another unique aspect or element is this exchange of cultural exchanges, basketball exchanges that occur within our groups and within our players. We have a lot of foreign players that would like to seek a place to play in the United States at a college or a university. Our program naturally is not like a recruiting or assistance program, but what happens through these relationships is that we're able to expose foreign talent to American coaches, and it creates these relationships and these communication tunnels where these coaches can find kids overseas and maybe provide a basketball home for them here in the United States. On the flip side, we've got a lot of domestic players through these relationships with these European and foreign coaches that we bring in. They're able to find a home after their college and university experience in the United States to play somewhere else. So it's a two-way street, both ways. We've had coaching partnerships that have developed out of these relationships as well. So the Basketball Embassy has really kind of been a home that a lot of relationships have been built in that have been mutually beneficial for both sides of the ocean.